an immense amount of knowledge and understanding and wisdom and sympathy in this man, added to his extraordinary artistic talent. I think the world could be better if Sam Bach's work was better known.
My grandparents and my parents should have been very, very preoccupied and should have done everything in order to get away from that. But I don't know, maybe they lived with the illusion that we all kind of cultivate when we don't like the things around us and we say it will pass. And they were also very much focused on making Vilnius a real paradise for the little boy in a Jewish family to whom everything was permitted, but not painting and drawing on the walls and the furniture. Mother's uncle, who was in Berlin, a very known personality, a known musician, painter, and so on, who was a kind of a god of our family, declared, when I was about 3 or 4 years of age, this child is going to be a painter.
From 33 to 39, life was unbelievable. When he was 3 years old, he was doing accomplished drawings that were sent to his uncle, who was an artist in Berlin, and said, don't even send him to school, give him pencil and paper, art, art, art. So that was the beginning of his life.
Somehow it so happened that of the 5% of Lithuanian Jews who survived was my mother and myself. We managed to escape from Vilnius. We managed to get to Poland. We managed to arrive to Berlin in 1945, just after the war, to look for my mother's uncle. And of course, there we learned that he was sent to Auschwitz with his wife. We heard that there are some refugee camps that are collecting Jews in southern Germany. Germany in 1945, after the war, was a chaos. I mean, the trains were overloaded. You traveled some of the time on the roof of the train. Sometimes you could not even use the door of a car to get in. You had to go in through the windows. We arrived finally to a place called Landsberg.
Sam carries in him incredibly detailed memories of the old Vilna, and they, in a sense, become the backdrop for his questions about man's inhumanity to man.
I was also very, very fortunate because the kind of a talent for painting put me a little aside. I was this kind of, in Landsberg, I was the child prodigy of the camp. So whenever famous people came to Landsberg, and there was a good number of them, I was always kind of introduced to them.
Bach's work represents visual testimony and memory of an entire 50-year period in Western history. All of his paintings are an engagement with questions. His entire world is made up of questions. He frequently compares his paintings to Matryoshka dolls, where you open one and there are 4 more inside that and more inside that.
The Prime Minister then said, Mr. Bach, we know you are an artist and you dealt with the Holocaust and so on, and we would like to see what is it that you can do for Lithuania to help us to keep the memory of this huge community of Jews that lived here in the city and that was destroyed. So I said, you know what you can do? You can create a space for my paintings. My paintings are telling stories. And they're not telling stories in a simple way. They are telling stories in a way that require from people to think and also to be informed and to be sometimes guided to understand and so on. But they are a very good key for entering that space. I say, if you give me a space for showing my paintings, I will give you the paintings.
So his impact on Lithuanian society is rather significant. His museum became a very important part of our educational work among Lithuanians.
It is viewed by some in Vilna and in Lithuania as one of the best hopes for the future, that the Lithuanians and all who visit it will not go back to the way that they behaved during the Second World War and afterward under the Russians, but rather they will move forward into a world that respects all people.
They have constantly visitors, they have constantly schools, students coming, they have teachers that are speaking to them and telling them the story. So in some way, something was achieved that would have been completely beyond my dreams.
So the reality is that what he is talking about is a world, a civilization, a community that was his and ours as human beings, that basically other human beings chose to destroy. And so unless you remember that, unless you take that into consideration even in your present world, and you try to forget the past, then you will have no future. So Bach's work is all about the future and the present, but only with a vision of what was and what needs to change in order for us to survive as human beings.